Hello, my little unicorns. Thank you so much for joining me. Got rocking the space buns today. We're going to keep it simple today. We're going back to basics. So I'm going to be using my Profusion Naturals palette. And we're going to keep it all matte. Okay, so without any further ado, thank you for tuning in and let's get started. First, let me zoom you in a little bit, just so you can see my eyes better. I have already done the rest of my face. I'm wearing my Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade Think Pink. And I have my Profusion blush palette on in the color Punch. And my e.l.f. contour palette. I have my eyebrows done. Everything, my highlighter. I'm wearing Wet n Wild highlighter in Golden Blossom. Everything but my eyeshadow. So we'll get started. Sippy stuff. Alright, so I have already primed my eyelids and powdered down with the Profusion palette. I use the color Polite because it's close to my skin tone. Just to keep that primer from creasing. So I'm going to go in with my largest fluffy brush. And I'm using the shade Heavenly for my first transition shade. This one right here. Tap the brush out. And I'm taking this high up. I'm going to take it right up to my eyebrow here in the middle, in the inner corner, but not quite to my brow in the outer. Now remember, these colors are not as pigmented as some of the stuff I've been using recently, but they are very buildable. So you need patience. And this look is all about the gradient effect today. So there's going to be a lot of blending. You're going to need a lot of patience anyway. Scoot over just a little bit so I'm more centered in there. Okay, and it's a very light shade. You can barely see it on camera, but I just want this for ease of blending. It's really not meant to add much more than a light shadow. And again, a lot of blending. Okay, I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller fluffy brush into my next transition shade, which is going to be Zing, which is this shade right here. You can see the name. Well, you can kind of see the name. This one right there. And I'm going to go right exactly where I already went, just a little lower than I did with Heavenly. And it's going to be an all matte, very warm look, kind of smoky eye. But definitely wearable, something you can wear for work or going out to the grocery store. But it will transition to nighttime very easily. Now, if you wanted a sharper cut crease, you could add sticky tape, which I think I might do now, because I kind of want that crease. Before I get too far in, I'm going to do that. Let's see if I can zoom you out just a little bit so that my whole face is on camera. I actually remembered to say sticky tape today. Office tape. Alright, going back with Zing. And I'm just going to kind of take this and wing it out just a little bit. And I'm taking it just about my outer third, maybe half of my lid. I'm not going to be glowing greater than the gods. I have a little highlighter on today, but this is a very neutral, wearable look. Something anybody can do. It's really all about the gradient and how well you blend. So you have to be very patient. And the more pigmented your colors are, the more you'll have to blend. The nice thing about profusion is because I have to build it, I can build it to where I want, and it allows me a little less blending. But I still want to really work these colors. I want that gradient effect to be seamless. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that there. Alright, then I'm going to go in with an even smaller pencil brush. And I know it looks dirty, the tip's actually clean, it's white brush, so it's stained. One sec. But just to be on the safe side, I am going in with my dry makeup brush cleaner. And I'm just going to clean that off. Because I don't want any residual color. You can see it's still stained. Alright, I'm going in with my next darkest shade, which is going to be Outspoken, which is like this reddish brown shade here. And I'm going to do it again a little lower. And I'm not going to take it quite as far on my lid as I did with Zing. Going back in with the brush that I applied Zing with, and just blending that out. Little circular motions, holding the brush low. Circular and windshield wiper motions. Do the same with the other side. And go in with the brush that I applied Zing with, no extra product, and just blend that out. Feather light touches, guys. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure. It's really about the patience, not the pressure. Now I'm going to go in with an even smaller tip brush, and I'm going to apply the black, which is called Nightlife. Really tap this out. You don't want a lot of fallout with black. It's a mess. And I'm taking that just right in the outer V. Not even going to take it really into my crease. A little bit, but not much. When I blend it, it'll blend up into my crease a little. But I really just want to add this for a little depth. I'm using the same brush that I applied Outspoken with, the darkest brown, and I'm just blending that out for a seamless transition. Again, holding it very low on the end. No extra product. And like I said, I didn't put any black in here, I'm just dragging it up from blending. Okay. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Just applying it in the outer V, and I'll keep doing it until it reaches the depth that I want it to be, and then I'll blend it out. Now, if this isn't intense, I'm going for a very light look, but if this is not as intense as you want it to be, go back in, do more black, and keep putting on the black, blending it out, putting it on, blending it out, until you get that smooth transition and the depth of color that you're looking for. Again, I wanted this to be very subtle. I may end up going in and adding a little bit more. I think I made it darker on this side than the other side. Maybe not. Okay. Now it's still a little sharper than I want it to be, so I'm going back in with the smaller fluffy brush that I applied Zing with, no extra product, and I'm just going to blend again. Just around the edges. I don't want to lose any more of that depth of the black. I removed just as much as I wanted to. Okay. Move the tape. And I'm just going to go in with my Beauty Blender and touch up the makeup that the tape removed. Just a little bit right there. And then I'll go back in with my highlighter. Just to get rid of any lines, because you should really do this before you put your foundation on, but I hate being on camera without my foundation. Okay. Alright, next I'm going to cut my crease. And you can skip this if you want it to be really soft and blended. You don't have to cut your crease. You can just go in with your lightest shade. But I really want that light shade to pop and stand out. So I am going to cut my crease. For that, I'm using my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Rose, I believe it is. Yes, Fair Rose. It's the lightest shade I could find. And I'm just going to use a flat brush. And I'm going to look straight ahead, and that's how I'm going to determine where I want to cut my crease. And I'm only doing a half cut crease. So once I have the marks where I want them, I will then fill in. And I will be dabbing this out with my finger because I used a little too much product. And I want that to blend kind of seamlessly into the black and the brown, like that. Now what I'm going to do is before I cut my other crease, I'm going to go ahead and apply my main lid color, just because I want to set that concealer before it creases. So before I do my other lid. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. And because I'm using a very light shade, I definitely want to make sure this brush is clean. And for this, I'm using the lightest shade in the palette, which is not a shimmer. It's called Sugar, and it's a white. Now, if you don't have fair skin, if you've got darker skin, you could use Polite or Silky. And I'm just going to place that everywhere where I cut my crease. And then the last thing I want to do is go in with the brush that I applied the medium brown with, this is color Zing. Add just a little bit more product to the brush and clean up that edge. Anywhere I might have gotten white. I don't want it harsh, I don't want it sharp, I just want it cleaned up a little bit. You shouldn't even really be able to tell much of a difference, except that this one's just a little bit more sharp. Then go in and do the same with the other side. Just get a little bit of the concealer on my brush. Try and go a little bit more conservatively this time. If you hear a squeaky noise, that's my cat playing with her toy. Look straight ahead and determine where I want to cut my crease. And this time I don't think I used enough product. You can always go in and add more. It's a lot harder to take it away. Next time I lock the cats up. Okay, and then I'm going to set that with the color Sugar, the white color. Go back in with Zing and just darken up those edges. Right in there. And it's still a little harsher than I want it to be. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend some more. Okay. Last thing I'm going to do is take some of that same color that I used in my lid, sugar, and put it right under the brow bone. Well, not the last thing, but the last thing I'm going to do as far as my upper lid shadow goes. Now you could wear a wing liner with this. I'm looking for something softer, so I'm not going to wing out my liner, but this would look really good with a dark wing liner. In fact, if you wanted to take it from day to night, just wing out your liner. And that would be a great nighttime look. Okay, now I'm going to do the lower lash line. I'm going back in with my black. Hang on one second. So I'm going in with the black to do my lower lash line, but this time I'm going to use a very thin, fine brush. And I want to keep that black as close to the lash line as possible. So I'm going in with the color Nightlife. That's the black. And I just want to make it kind of an extension. Of the upper lid. I'm going to zoom you guys out just a little bit more. So I feel like I'm getting lost because you can't see my mouth moving. Okay. Then I'm going in with the pencil brush that I applied Outspoken with. I'm going to clean it off because it has some residue of the black from when I was blending, which is going to get again back with Outspoken. And just blend that out. Back to my largest fluffy brush and the original color Heavenly, and just take it even lower just to further soften that. Okay. Going to curl my lashes. And I'm applying my lash primer. to my lower lashes than my upper lashes. And yes, I am putting on false lashes, so I'm not going to worry too much about multiple coats. Normally I wear, if I'm not wearing false lashes, I'll wear 3 to 4 coats of mascara. But when I'm wearing false lashes, I just wear 1. And then I'm going in with my L'Oreal Waterproof Air Volume Mascara. I really like this mascara. It's pretty good. Yeah, on my nose. And again, I'm just doing 1 coat because I'm going to put on false lashes. I remember I said tap off your black. I got some on my nose. Alright, next I'm going to use my Kiss Lash Glue. I do not want to knock over my sippy stuff with my rainbow cup. My Kiss Lash Glue liner, and again, I'm not doing a wing, so I'm going to try and keep this as close to my lash line as possible. And I'm using it in black. And I'm not doing a real wing, but I don't want it to droop, so I am doing a slight flick at the outside corner. And today I'm using my Lashaholic Luxury Lashes in Instaglam. These were a gift from Carla, but they're kind of mellow. They're not super like glam. They're not over the top. They're not extra. I think I'm going to have to replace them soon. I've worn them a lot. They look like this. Not extra. Get them into position and then tamp them down. You always want to make sure that your lashes kind of go upward and not out. And that's not going the way I want it to. There we go. Sorry, I hid myself from you. Other side. Again, I'm trying to stay as close to the lash line as possible with this glue. And just a little flick on the end. Get them into place, then tamp it down. And voila. And that is it. I didn't highlight the inner corner. I wanted this to be very soft and natural. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope it's something that you think you can do and that it's simple enough for you. It really isn't complicated, but it does require some patience. Join me next Saturday. I'm not quite sure what we're doing. I think the plan was for my girlfriend Dina to come over on the 13th, but she's hurt herself, so I'm going to have to touch base with her and see if she's okay. But in the meantime, stay magical, my little unicorns. Positive prayers for Dina, and I will check you next time. Have a great day.